All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to walk you through my conditioning workouts. I actually have 2 conditioning workouts a week right now. I mentioned in one of my last episodes that I am in a different season of my training right now where I'm not focused on building. I'm actually not even necessarily focused on, I wouldn't necessarily call it maintaining. My goal right now is to actually downsize just a tad. And I want to do it in a way where I'm going to maintain my overall shape and fullness of my muscle, but just gradually taper back my size. So I'm thinking overall, I want to drop about 4 to 5 pounds of muscle kind of overall, mostly from, I would say probably half my lower body and half of like my back. So my volume across all of my body parts is significantly lower than it has been in years. And even last year, because if you guys have followed me for a little bit, even last year I was tapering back my quad training. And in 18 months, I only lost 2 pounds from my lower half. So that means that I'm really going to have to be mindful of not pushing myself too far and not going to near failure and keeping my volume pretty moderate. I'm going to attempt to do this by reducing training intensity and volume first and foremost and eating around maintenance. If that doesn't work, I might have to also pull my calories down, which I'm really hoping I don't have to do that. I would rather just take it a little bit slower, to be honest, and just let everything sort of gradually cut back. For reference, most women in midlife do not want to do this, okay? I have been training bodybuilding style for a little over 15 years now, particularly extremely hard in the last 5 years because I got back into competing after a short break and put on a good amount of muscle in those 5 years, probably about 2 or 3 pounds a year over 5 years. So, with consistency, it can be done, but at the same time, my competition plans have shifted and I no longer need to have as much lean mass as I have plenty. Let's just put it that way. I'll pop up one of my last DEXAs that I took was about 8 weeks prior to my competition. I think it was like 6 weeks out maybe. And I was sitting around 136, 137 pounds of lean mass. So that's not just muscle, but it is organs and other things. But that far exceeds what an average woman wants to achieve or needs to achieve basically. At my height, my size and everything. So 136, 137 pounds-ish, around 9-10% body fat is where I'm sitting right now. And I'd like to be like around 132, maybe 133 pounds of lean mass. So the path to doing that, if you wanted to lose muscle really quickly, long distance running, lots of cardio, low protein, low calories, that'll pretty much do it for you. But I want to still keep my protein at a reasonable place, and I still want to get in and use my muscles to keep that fullness and my overall shape because I don't want to just look atrophied and depleted and sickly. I want to bring it down nice and slow. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a stretching warm up here, and then I'm going to walk you guys through what the conditioning series looks like. Very different than anything that I've been doing recently, but this is week 3 on this training block. So I'm adapting slowly. My cardio conditioning is improving. I'm taking fewer rest periods. So basically my rest in between exercises is about 15, maybe 30 seconds. And I'm moving on to the next thing. So I really want to emphasize, if you are a woman who is wanting to build muscle and you are like, what the heck, why am I not building muscle? This is not a workout you should be doing. You definitely want to prioritize those strict lifting sessions, taking sets to near failure. If you're doing that, you will need longer rest periods simply to recover to then have another strong set. But that is not my goal for today. And I really want to be clear on that because I think there's so much crap on the internet, and a lot of what's pushed out to women is these like circuit, fast, sweaty, intensity workouts. You feel like you're doing something, you feel exhausted, but it's not what's going to build muscle long term. My growth over the last 15 years is when I really shifted into doing those strict bodybuilding sets, focusing on progressive overload, and even more so, just pushing myself past the threshold that I thought I could do. That's what gets the body to change and build. And then of course, you got to layer in the nutrition. There's literally no way around that. All right, so I like to start with just warming up. My hips get really tight because I do actually, believe it or not, you guys, I sit a lot. I do a lot of programming at my desk, a lot of meal plans, client calls, coaching calls, consultations. So I'm at my desk a lot, way more than what people think. I think last week, the week of Thanksgiving, I was averaging about 3,500 steps a day because I was so busy. This is also why I say nutrition is number one. If you stay on your nutrition, weeks like that aren't really going to affect you a whole lot. But I like to do this. I like to get in here to really get it deep into this hip, stretch out my calf so I keep my heel down, and I really push my torso into my thigh here. So I'm getting a stretch all through the hips, into the calves, and then coming back and stretching the hamstring. Tight. So I'll do like 2 minutes on each side, like this, just kind of gently moving and creating space in the hips. Kind of just twisting my body around too and just letting things pop. Welcome to 40, 41. Things just pop all the time now. And I always, this is probably a staple in my training warm-up, especially when I'm doing a lot of lower body. I don't spend a ton of time, maybe 10, 15 minutes. It's all you need. You don't need this whole 1 hour routine. But I try to work on things where I feel tight and just get motion through all these parts that are stiff. I'm pushing out here also, again, just opening up the hips a little bit gently. And each time I move forward and back, I go a little bit deeper into each stretch. I highly recommend this if you find it hard to get deep into squats or deep into lunge movements, or you feel like your calves are tight. That's a limitation. Again, leaning into this here, stretching out the calves, getting motion through all the joints here. Not complicated, but really effective. Okay, so we're gonna start with the leg press. This is a series of 5 exercises, and because I'm old, I'm kidding, I need to go back and look at my notes. Okay, so we're gonna do leg press. I'm doing 20 reps at slightly faster pace than I typically would. I'm doing jump lunges, alternating sides. Someone's using the sled right now, so I'm probably gonna do Stairmaster for 2 minutes. Then I'm doing in and out jump squats with the band above my knees, followed by leg extensions, again, faster tempo, but controlled, and then finishing with the salt bike. That's 1 round. So I already did my warm-up set, so I'm actually just gonna jump right into this full circuit right now, and yeah, let's get after it. All right, so that's the conclusion of this workout. It took me 25 minutes to complete all 3 rounds, and I'm gonna work my way up to doing 4 rounds at some point when my conditioning gets a little bit better. About the question a lot, like, why do I want to lose some muscle? And I don't think what people realize is when you're a taller person, you have to add so much more lean tissue to look comparable to smaller women on stage next to you. So when I compete to look similar proportions and similar amount of development, I have to have a significant amount more muscle. Like if you were to supersize a smaller person and make them my size, they would look skinny with their amount of muscle unless they matched mine. So if you're a taller person, if you're a woman who's more than 5'4", it's gonna take you a little bit longer to put on muscle just because we all put it on at roughly the same pace. You just have longer limbs and more surface area to fill in. But yeah, now that I'm sort of in this new season of my life, I don't need to have the stage amount of lean mass that I would if I was continuing to compete next year. And it's also just a lot of maintenance and work to keep up with. So I'm embracing this new stage, and I think that's what's really important if you're someone getting started or if you're intermediate or more advanced, to really recognize like what are your real goals right now and adapting based on the season that you're in. The way that you used to train isn't the way that you need to always train, and vice versa. So just being open-minded to trying different things, different training blocks, and it really should be personalized to you and your situation and your goals, strengths, weaknesses, all that stuff. So that's how we program for our clients at Six Pack Chick. We look at where they're at, what are their strengths, weaknesses, working around injuries, working around other limitations that they might have, and also making sure it's enjoyable in the process. So the training structure, frequency, all of that stuff is factored in to the programming so that it can move towards their goal and you're not just cherry picking whatever you see on the internet. If you guys found this video useful, go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you think and let me know what you guys want to see next time.